Chapter 14 Praiseworthy. Fort Loudon, City of Winchester, January 1757. While William is teaching his sons life lessons, Colonel Washington is writing letters to the 4th Earl of Loudon, General John Campbell, a Scottish nobleman and Britain's newly appointed Commander-in-Chief of North American Operations. Campbell assumed command when dispatched to Fort Cumberland, Maryland in July of 1756. Washington's letters and his naming of Fort Loudon are part of his campaign to acquire for himself a royal commission. The Perrell Family Farm, January 1757. The day after burying J.J., William keeps his promise to Joseph Perrell. That evening, he makes a trip to his farm. Joseph is sitting on the porch with Dean McGregor and Stephen Cochrane. They are puffing their pipes, sipping on a jug of McGregor's finest, and jaw-jacking when William rides up. Perrell sees him and stands. "William! I didn't expect to see you back so soon. Welcome!" William dismounts. "Evening, gents." McGregor pulls the pipe from his lip, pointing at his horse with it. "What in blazes are you riding?" Perrell takes note of William's horse. "Aye, I've never seen you riding no horse but J.J. Where is he?" "Funny you should ask, 'cause actually that's why I'm here." Stephen stands. "You mean? Oh, say it ain't so." William removes his broad brim. "I'm afraid so." McGregor looks back and forth at them, wide-eyed. "What are you? Holy Christ, William! Has something foul happened to J.J.? Say it ain't so." "I wish I could, Dean." Perrell looks at him with a head tilt. "But you made no mention of this yesterday. What happened?" "'Tis a long and tragic tale, old friend." Perrell leans back with a raised brow. "Do tell." William steps onto the porch, taking a seat on one of the wood stumps. Reaching over, he takes the jug of hooch from Dean and throws back a swig. Breathing a grateful sigh, he wipes his mouth. Ah! He rests the jug on his thigh, taking a quick look at his friends before throwing back another snort. He wipes his mouth on his sleeve again, then hands the jug back to Dean. "Crazy as it sounds, yesterday, whilst I were on me way home from here, John and Robert decided to take old J.J. for a ride." Perrell leans in. "And?" "And it didn't go the way they planned it." Perrell leans back. "How so?" "Would you believe, just outside the barn door, old J.J. hit a patch of black ice and down they went." Joseph gasps. "My word! Are the lads all right?" William grabs the jug again, throwing back another swig. "Aye, they're fine." He slowly shakes his head. "But J.J., well, I had to." McGregor reaches over, placing a hand on his old friend's shoulder. "A man putting down his favourite horse is a tragic thing." William nods. "Aye, except I dinna." Stephen cocks his head. "How's that?" McGregor pulls away from William in shock. "Bloody hell! You didn't have Mary to do it." William tilts his head, staring at him through squinted eyes. "I swear, McGregor, you're crazy as a shitehouse rat. Nay, no Mary. Junior." McGregor blurts, "Junior!" His friends stare at him stone-faced, and Perrell pulls the pipe from his lip. "Of all people! Why Junior?" "Because it were his shenanigans that caused everything what happened to happen. That's why." "Junior?" "Believe me, Joseph, it were no easy decision, but it were the right decision. The whole bloody thing stemmed from his tomfoolery, and some prodding by his older brothers. I needed to teach 'em a lesson." They stare with curiosity. "If he really must ken, his brothers were being mean, and he tried to get even." McGregor huffs. "'Tis that Scottish Irish blood." William nods and laughs. "No doubt." Stephen asks, "So, what'd you do?" William looks at him with a squint of his right eye. "He gave 'em A ride they'll never forget. Stephen laughs, then apologizes. Sorry. Perel breathes. Lord almighty. William nods. Aye, to hear him tell it, he figured he'd give old J.J. a startle with a slap of his arse, which he did, and I came riding up just in time to watch him dash across the yard like he'd been struck by a bolt of lightning, with John and Robert holding on for dear life. Stephen chokes out another laugh, and William throws him a stank-eyed glare. Stephen shrugs, and he continues. Then bang! J.J. hits a patch of black ice, and down he goes, boys and all. Dean gasps. Christ almighty! William raises a finger. But to Junior's credit, he came right out and confessed, tears and all. Perel slaps his knee. You're raising 'em right. McGregor points his pipe at him. Aye, you did the right thing. Of that there can be no doubt. Stephen shakes his head. Aye, fathering's no easy. Of that much I'm certain. I cannot tell you how many times I've been in similar such predicaments with me sons. Boys are tough, and raising 'em is tougher. William nods. There it is. McGregor asks, So, how'd you handle it? As one might expect. He struggled with it, but found his courage and did what needed doing. He looks at Perel. I'm sure you already guessed I'll be wanting that second foal. Perel slaps McGregor's arm, laughing. Then it's a good thing McGregor here shirked on his deal. McGregor scowls, and the others laugh. If you want it, 'tis yours. Same arrangement as before. William nods. If it's just the same to you. Aye, works for me. Great. Now hand over the jug. McGregor takes another pull, wipes his mouth, and hands over the jug. William throws another one back and passes it around. And just as they have done 1,000 times before, they sit on Perel's porch, smoking, drinking, laughing, and talking as they watch the sun fade from the horizon. The Albin brothers are like any other brothers, which is to say, perfectly imperfect in every way. They do not always see eye to eye or give each other their due respect. William and Mary use those moments as learning opportunities, teaching them about respect, independent thought, personal opinion, and above all, the importance of family. Learning to stand shoulder to shoulder rather than head to head, while learning the strength that comes from it. One teaching tool is their sons' daily chores. With so much to be done around the farm, this is not only important to their sons' growth, but a necessity for maintaining and growing their homestead. Through their daily involvement, the boys learn about animal husbandry, carpentry, writing, hunting, fishing, and trapping, not to mention the value of a hard day's work. The Albin Farm, early Wednesday morning, April 20th, 1757. In the months following J.J.'s death, William witnesses a maturity of his 3 eldest sons. There is a new level of respect and unity between them, the likes of which he has not previously seen. And after watching Junior buck up and put down J.J., John and Robert have stopped looking at him as the third wheel, now openly embracing him as an equal. As for Junior, the experience has grown him beyond his years. While it did not steal his childhood, the once rambunctious little boy had taken a huge step towards manhood. To William's surprise, Junior has been the first to rise and get to work every day since the accident, every morning fetching water from the well and bringing it into the cabin for his family to wash up and his mother to make coffee. Then right back out to the chicken coop to fetch the eggs, placing them on the kitchen table for his mother. And all this before his older brothers have even rolled out of bed. On most days, while his mother cooks breakfast, he heads back to the barn and tends to the animals. Usually, by this time, his older brothers make it out to the barn to carry the cans of milk into the cabin for their mother. Considering this tremendous show of growth, and with his 10th birthday just months away, William gets to thinking. McGregor's 2 new foals are due right around Junior's birthday, and that gives him an idea. He wants to acknowledge Junior's efforts and use that to further motivate John and Robert. While they have always been helpful around the homestead, like most young lads, they typically only do what they must, and then only when asked. William wants them to see firsthand how initiative and going the extra mile is commendable and worthy of praise. That in mind, he concocts a plan. The Perel family farm, later that morning. William rides out to the Perels to speak with Joseph about the broodmares. He is standing outside brushing one of his horses when William rides up. "Top of the morn, Mr. Makwa, sir." He dismounts. "Morning, you old horse breeder." Perel wipes his brow and shakes his hand. "Checking on the broodmares, I'm guessing." "Aye, and?" "They're doing well, healthy and strong. I'm thinking it should just be a couple more weeks." "Perfect! That's just what I were hoping." With a raised brow. "A bit anxious, are we?" "Nay, I'm just checking the timing for a little scheme I'm cooking up." "A scheme, you say? Do tell, brother." "Well, I've yet to share this with Mary, but this is what I'm thinking." William shares his plan, telling him about Junior's growth and how he intends to reward him, while at the same time hopefully motivating John and Robert to step up their game. They talk about it for a while, and then he heads back to Mary at the farm to unveil his master plan. When he arrives, the boys are out doing what boys do after their chores are done. He can hear them shouting and playing in the distance, but they are nowhere in sight. When he enters the cabin, Mary is at the table kneading pie dough. She looks up with a smile. "Well, hello there." He kisses her on the cheek. "Hello, Mare Bear." He removes his broad brim and takes a seat at the table. "Hey, I just returned from Joseph's, and we concocted an idea I'd like to share." Mary stops kneading and wipes her hands on her apron with a flirtatious grin. "Lord have mercy! I kenned the moment you walked through the door you were up to something. You always have a look about you." "Look? What look?" "That look you get when that brain of yours gets to brewing on something. All right, then. Out with it." William chuckles. "So, with Junior's birthday just around the corner, I were thinking we'd use that as an opportunity to reward him for how he's stepped up since the whole JJ thing. And maybe, just maybe, it'll light a fire under his brother's arses." "Just how are we going to do that?" William clears his throat. "By giving him that second foal we're getting from Perel." Mary drops her hands to her sides with a furrowed brow. "A horse? Are you at your face?" "Now, I understand it's a stretch, but I've just come from Perel's, and the broodmares are due sometime in the next 2 weeks. 'Tis perfect." Hands on her hips, she sighs. "I dinna ken, dear. That's a big responsibility for a 10-year-old. 'Tis true, but I think he's up for it. And what better way to inspire his brothers to start taking some initiative around here? 'Tis perfect, is it no?" Mary pauses for a moment, pondering his idea. "All right, husband. If you think he's up for it, I'll support this harebrained idea of yours. However, if he fails to take proper care of it, we're taking it away." William leaps to his feet. "Agreed!" Then he fishes for a smooch. "Get off me, you dirty old Irishman! You're sweaty and smell of horse." She shoves him away, but he leans in, stealing a kiss before leaving Mary to her pie dough. Village of Albin, Frederick County, Shenandoah Valley, Virginia Colony. The weekend before Junior's 10th birthday. Sunday, May 1st, 1757. Junior's birthday is nearly upon them, and William's plan is on the brink of failure. With no word from Perel about the broodmares, failure looms in William's mind as he and his family head off for church. As usual, William rides on horseback while his family follows close behind in a wagon. When they arrive, Mrs. Perel is pulling up in a wagon with her children. "Good day, Mrs. Perel. I see you're here alone this fine Sunday morn. Joseph too tired for church today?"
"Too busy's more like it."
"Aren't we all? But the good book says," she cuts him off,
"when you've two brood mares foaling at the same time, you stay and tend to 'em."
"Lord Almighty! Both?"
"Aye, he's been up all night, been tending to those pregnant girls of his for the last 5 or 6 hours already. I swear, they get more attention than do I."
William chuckles. "Then I'm guessing those girls should be giving birth any moment now." She lifts her children from the wagon, one after the other.
"Aye, if they haven't already."
William thinks about it for a moment. "If it's just the same to you, I'd like to head out there with Junior, and if we're lucky, he'll get to watch 'em be born."
"Of course, William, that would be fine. In fact, I am guessing he'd appreciate the company."
William turns towards Mary, who has climbed down from the wagon listening.
"I heard. Go on. Do what you must. The boys and I'll meet up with you at the Perels after church."
She turns to Junior.
"Go with your da. He's taking you with him."
"Really? I didn't have to go to church?" She glares at him, hands on her hips.
"You heard me. Now run along before I change my mind."
In a flash, Junior jumps from the wagon and runs over to his father. He reaches down with one arm and hoists him onto the saddle in front of him. As their father and brother ride away, John and Robert are watching with bewilderment, and their mother calls,
"John! Robert! Come help me with James."
Meanwhile, William and Junior are off to the Perels. Junior has no idea what his father has in store. All he knows is he does not have to go to church. When they arrive, William helps Junior to the ground and ties off his horse. They make their way to the barn, and William knocks before swinging the door open. "You look like a man could use a cup of coffee." Joseph turns to them.
"More like a swig of McGregor's brew. But dinna tell me wife I said that. Come in, gents. You're just in time."
He points to one of the brood mares.
"No more than 15 minutes ago, June here gave birth to that fine colt."
To their left, a wet and wobbly foal struggles to stand. He is a beautiful chestnut with striking deep brown, almost black fur on his socks and mane like his mother.
"He's a fine-looking colt, Joseph."
Junior adds,
"Yeah, he's a beauty."
Hands to his knees, Joseph smiles at him with a nod.
"And if he's anything like his ma, he'll make a fine horse for some lucky fella."
Junior smiles excitedly, and he straightens himself, pointing at the beautiful, light yellowy colored broodmare to his right.
"And Sweetie here is just about ready."
Sweetie is standing rather tentatively over the straw-covered ground. Her breathing labored, she is clearly uncomfortable. On the ride over, William told Junior he was taking him to watch a horse being born, but Junior had no idea what that entailed. In fact, he is still trying to come to terms with how much trouble the colt is having trying to stand.
"Duh! Why is he so wobbly? He reminds me of Mr. McGregor."
William and Joseph get a kick out of his innocent, albeit honest observation, and his father replies, "To tell you true, young squire, considering he's nary an hour old, I'd say he's doing pretty good." Junior places a finger on his lip.
"I guess so."
Joseph and his father break into a harmony of chuckles.
"How long did it take me to stand?"
"A lot longer than an hour, I can tell you." Sweetie's forelegs are close together, with her hind legs spread apart. Joseph walks over and begins gently stroking her neck.
"You ken, lassie, this would be a whole lot easier if you just lay down."
With her head hung low, Sweetie slowly sidesteps herself in a circle. She stops, pausing for a moment before slowly spinning back around to where she started. Clearly uncomfortable, she proceeds to slowly spin back around in the other direction, then carefully and methodically lays on her side just as Mr. Perel had hoped. As she hits the straw-covered ground, two front hooves greet the world, spilling amniotic fluid to the straw-covered ground. Perel kneels to help her deliver the foal.
"All right, gents. Looks like she's finally ready."
William takes hold of his youngster's shoulders.
"Let's move closer for a better view, young squire."
Junior looks at Perel.
"Are you going to help her?"
"Only if she needs me, lad. You have to remember, these majestic creatures have been having babies since the beginning of time. She'll be fine." For the next many minutes, Sweetie just lays there on her belly, restless but still. After much anticipation, she rolls on to her right side, causing the foal's hooves and legs to make their way a little further out. Sweetie sits back up and stands again, neighing uncomfortably with the amniotic sac now hanging from her. She is trying her best, but is visibly struggling. Perel takes a hold of the foal's legs and ever so slowly begins helping her with a steady pull. Just then, she turns and lays back down again, this time rolling on to her left. Once on the ground, Perel kneels behind her as he continues to carefully but firmly pull on her foal's legs, slowly revealing its head. He turns to William.
"This is one big foal."
He lets go of the foal's legs and proceeds to clear the amniotic sac out of the way, clearing a path for the foal's hooves. Meanwhile, as Sweetie pushes, a menagerie of peculiar sounds exit her back end, and Junior cannot resist his youthful curiosity.
"Is she farting?"
His father laughs.
"Nay, young squire, it just sounds that way. You see, there's a lot of air inside of her, and it's making its way out. When air makes its way out of me, Ma says I'm farting, and she smacks me."
William chuckles.
This is a little different."
Meanwhile, Perel pulls on the foal's legs until all but its hind legs are out and the beautiful foal is laying on the straw, freely breathing fresh air for the very first time. Then he removes the remainder of the amniotic sac, declaring,
"Oh, she's a beauty."
The foal is a beautiful buckskin filly, with her mother's yellowy coloration, patches of tan, sultry black tail and mane, mahogany markings around her face, and a white stripe down the center of her nose. Junior stands there silently watching in awe. He has never seen an animal give birth before, so watching this bonny filly come into the world is quite the revelation. With her hind legs finally out, Perel wipes her down with a handful of hay. He motions for Junior to come closer. Still silent, he walks over and kneels beside him. At first, he just sits there in awe, but then,
"Is it all right if I touch her?"
Perel puts a hand on his back.
"Why, sure, lad."
Junior inches forward, then slowly reaches out, gently petting the filly's back like a puppy. Moving closer, he gently caresses the back of her ear and nose, their bond instantaneous and undeniable. Still petting, he whispers,
"You're as bonny a horse as ever I've seen."
His father asks,
"So, are you saying you like her?" "Like her? I love her. She's a beauty."
Just then, a wagon pulls up outside the barn. Moments later, Mary and the boys walk in and Junior shouts,
"Ma, isn't she bonny? I got to watch her be born."
Seeing her little man excited about the buck, her heart begins to melt.
"Aye, lad, bonny indeed."
John and Robert are standing nearby, smiling from ear to ear at the sight of the beautiful newborns and their little brother all aglow. William walks over and kisses his wife.
"I didn't expect to see you so soon, but I'm glad you're here."
She throws him a crooked smile.
"Truth be told, we were all a little too excited for church today, so we quietly slipped away and headed straight over."
She kneels beside her birthday boy.
"So, young squire, what do you think about what you witnessed here?" "Well, it was a little scary, but no too bad. And Sweetie didn't seem very happy about the whole thing, but she seems fine now."
William bends down behind her, whispering, "What do you think, Mare Bear? I think he likes her." She turns to him, smiling playfully with her eyes.
I think he wishes he could take her home,
Junior shouts.
You bet I would.
John and Robert exchange a glance, laughing at his response. Then their parents' conversation takes an unexpected turn. Mary breathes.
Well, it would be a lot of responsibility. However, he has been working hard around the farm of late. Aye, I think he's up for it. What say you, husband?
Well, his birthday is only a few days away, after all. John and Robert exchange a look. Junior shouts.
Really, Ma? Really? Aye, young squire, but you'll have to take care of her. She'll be your responsibility.
Junior wraps her in a bear hug. William and Joseph start laughing, while Robert and John stand idly by in a state of utter shock, neither speaking so much as a word.
Dinna forget your da, young squire. It were his idea, after all.
Junior runs over, nearly knocking William over as he wraps his arms around his waist.
Thanks, da.
You're welcome, young squire. Happy birthday.
And I'll take good care of her. You'll see.
His brothers can no longer contain themselves, and John blurts.
But da, I'm the oldest. Should I no be the first to get me own horse?
Robert whines.
Yeah, should we be first?
Perel turns for the barn door.
I'll be back in a minute. I have to check on something in the cabin.
As Joseph makes his escape, William addresses his two eldest like men. You're right. You are the oldest. And I'll just bet you lads would love horses of your own. But understand this, 'tis no about age, but it is about action. Robert sighs.
Action?
Aye, action. Every day since J.J. passed, your little brother has gotten up early, doing his chores, working hard, and taking the initiative around the farm, like a man. And now he's being rewarded for it, 'cause he's shown your ma and me he's man enough to care for this fine creature. You understand what I'm saying? The Alban boys stare off in thought, pondering their father's words. Robert stands tall and looks his father in the eyes.
Aye, act like a man, get treated like a man.
John reaches out his hand.
'Tis true. Junior's been besting us for months. He deserves his own horse. You and Ma always give us your best, and you deserve no less from us. I give him me word. From this day hence, you shall have it.
William shakes his hand. I believe you will, son. Then Robert steps forward, offering his hand as well.
Actions, no words.
William shakes his hand. Aye, lad. So, if a horse of your own is what you be wanting, show you're worthy. With actions, no words. While her sons are being lectured, Mary stays out of it, watching and listening, and she is encouraged by what she hears. The brothers exchange a guilty glance, knowing their father is right, and John confesses.
I were out of line. I'm sorry.
William places a hand on his shoulder. It's all right, young squire, but dinna apologize to me. Apologize to your brother. John turns to his little brother. Sorry, Junior, and I'm happy for you. Truly I am. Happy birthday. Robert adds,
Aye, me too, Jay. Happy birthday.
Junior's face lights up with a warm smile.
It's okay. You guys are me best friends. And dinna worry, you can ride her too. But you'll have to brush, water, and feed her when you do.
Their parents looking on proudly, John and Robert wrap their little brother in a warm embrace. When they get the new filly home, Junior names her Patches. Over the course of the next several months, he, along with help from his father and older brothers, spend countless hours training and caring for her. Staying true to their words, John and Robert step up their game. They are acting more responsibly and taking the initiative with family chores and assisting their father with the farm and his business. Equally important, they are leading by example, serving as positive role models for their younger siblings. Their actions demonstrating to their parents they, like their younger brother, are worthy of their praise. And so it is, in the fall of 1757, John and Robert are rewarded with horses of their own. Fort Loudon, winter 1757. Meanwhile, Washington is working hard to prove his worth as well. For the first 9 months of 1757, he continues his letter campaign to the 4th Earl of Loudoun, lobbying for a royal commission and additional support for the Virginia Regiment. Unfortunately, after his failed expedition to seize the French fortress at Louisbourg, during which French forces captured Fort William Henry, Loudoun is recalled to England, ending his command after just 1 year. Although Washington's campaign for a royal commission is thwarted by Loudoun's recall, the year is not a total loss, for in September, construction of Fort Loudoun is finally complete. Unfortunately, shortly thereafter, Washington finds himself yet again suffering from a bout of dysentery, rendering him bedridden for much of the winter. His suffering so severe, he suggests to the Virginia Burgesses he be replaced, stating he cannot properly execute his duties as colonel of the regiment. His suggestion, however, falls on deaf ears.